Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands Are Bust. This is episode 761 of the series. This one, a rare happenstance these days, being recorded not live, but normally. I don't know how to specify that. On my lonesome, without broadcasting the recording live. This is an old school, organically grown, non-GMO, non-Twitch MO'd episode. And clearly I am up on the practice of this sort of thing. But I wanted to do it this way. I wanted it. Oh, Wolfie. I did need a lot of wood. Not so much wool, and maybe some Wolfie treats. Before continuing on here, this episode coming out on your Friday, December 6th. Hi, 2019. Almost smacked Wolfie upside the head with a wooden axe. Let's get that stuff we needed. Carry on west here. So yeah, Friday, December 6th, 2019. Continuing with Farlands Are Bust. I decided I should take this time to maybe do a little bit. I haven't done an actual, recap episode in a while, so I think I might be able to do a quick series introduction recap. I figure there are, maybe not a lot, but quite a few viewers who might not have been with us for the past 760 episodes, and 5 Flobathons and whatever else has happened in between. So, bring you guys up to speed, but also kind of bring myself up to speed. I did get one comment. You know who you are. I did get a comment on the last video talking about, I feel like one episode a week isn't enough. And they were worried that they were feeling entitled. And you were. No, but I feel the same way. I definitely feel the same way. I do remember the ye old days of the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and or for a while we did Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday episodes for quite a while, and that worked out all right. These were also very different YouTube times and just content creation times. And that made a little bit more sense at the time. So it is a delicate balance. What with the things I need to do to maintain, obviously this my flagship series. Flagship in, I suppose, notoriety, but not necessarily flagship as far as my own ability to. This is surprisingly this is my job. This is how I am self-employed. I almost said gainfully self-employed, but that would be a misnomer. So I do and have always realized the sort of effort I need to continue to put into it, and I do appreciate everybody who has found and then stuck with, whether or not it be my YouTube series, Farlands Are Bust, or other series, or most recently my Twitch streams, and other such various shenanigans. So I do appreciate that, knowing full well that I could always have and could always continue to do better. But I do with what my own personal coffers doth provide. That is to say, my own personal energy levels and motivation levels and skill levels even that are able to keep up with. Am I being obtuse here? Is this confusing? Perhaps. But yeah, I figured I would do a little bit of a recap thing here. But also, I am really trying to think about the future of Farlands Are Bust. It's something I would like to do more of. But if you follow me on Twitter, we've had some real issues with YouTube recently. where it just is becoming a real struggle to be happy with it as a platform. We ran into yet another. This has happened multiple times. Another mass content ID claim problem where an MCN or a network, when they say sign a new channel on to their network umbrella, they incorrectly and wrongly, although they say, we don't know what happened, it's a glitch, we're still looking into it. They sign a specific new channel, and this channel happened to be a Let's Play channel, to their network, and immediately add all of those videos on that channel to their MCN Content ID automated match system, which is a YouTube system. By doing that, they're saying all of these videos that this channel we've now obtained 100% are our copyright possessions, and we shall claim matches. And those being video games, come up with a lot of audio and visual matches, particularly in reference to cutscenes and music and whatnot. So I got about 50 of those all at once, and they didn't seem too keen on reversing them. Oh, just dispute them all. One at a time. There's about, I think I counted 12 clicks that you need to make as a user to dispute a content ID claim, not counting the form you have to fill out with text and checkboxes. And that's just a giant waste of time. And true, in the grand scheme of things, there are many greater tragedies happening in the world, but and also all the videos that got claimed are like all my old Tomb Raider series, and previously it was all of our Forza series, myself and Beef, and what else got claimed this time? There's another one that got claimed, Rhyme, and it was the most recent one, I think. Yeah, these are all videos that, I don't know, they don't get many views, but it is a principle thing. It is it's literally wrong. If I were to just let them claim these videos, what 1 or 2 views they get, say they claimed 10 million videos. That's not a stretch to imagine that if I had 50 of my videos claimed, that all the other Let's Play channels had 50 videos of theirs claimed who played the same video games as me. I could see that being 10 million videos. If each of those 10 million got 1 or 2 views, that's a lot of views, and that's a lot of ad revenue that they get for falsely claiming content is their own, whether or not it was a glitch or a mistake or we don't know how this happened. But it's that amongst other things was just very frustrating, and it makes it difficult to grapple with the decision to continue to pour time into the platform when you're not getting what you used to get, or remotely what you used to get out of it. So yeah, it's tough for Far Lands or Bust because I do feel like this episodic video system has worked well. It works well for the podcast edition, but also there is my thoughts on maybe going with a Twitch platform for Far Lands or Bust. Obviously, Twitch isn't perfect either, and I know there's quite a few of you who can't or don't or just don't want to watch live streams. But it's stuff that kind of weighs on my mind. So that's for me to decide, and a lot of that stuff about the content ID or whatever isn't any of your particular issues as viewers per se. So we'll see. Well, I'm still working through that, but yes, I do recognize that as Far Lands or Bust, it'd be much better to have more of it than less of it. So coming around on that, and not even, this in particular, just recording it on my own without live streaming is partly a way for me to be like, I'll just do this, just do it, make it, put it out, and then stream. To make a process out of it, I think works. Speaking of the process, one of those things we do is make an elevated hidey hole here, which has been tested and proven as a valid spawn point. I guess to start out the FAQs, I've never died in this Minecraft world since we started it way back in March 2011. I've never died. If I do die, I clearly don't want to be sent all the way back to spawn and erasing all of that progress we've made, although realistically I would just load the latest backup. Let's not be silly here. That's truly what would happen. But to mitigate that, we sleep every night and then we don't break the bed, we leave it. So if we were to die, we only lose a day's worth of progress. But that hasn't happened. But we're still going to do it and continue in the morning. And awakeness. And continuing on. So yeah, like I just mentioned, started this in March 2011. Started as a normal Let's Play. Episodes 001 through 0011 are pretty normal Let's Play of a Minecraft Let's Play back in those early days. And even then, even March of 2011, the Let's Play was getting... I wasn't that early in on the wave of YouTube video gaming Let's Plays. So it was already quite a thing, and it is a thing I started because I enjoyed watching other Let's Plays, your co-stars, your X's Adventures in Minecraft, Paul Soares Jr. Those were kind of the first early waves. And I'm like, I could probably do this. I was kind of hunting for a hobby. I was a little bit, perhaps, adrift and unhappy in my day-to-day job that I had at the time. And I'm like, I just want to try something new. People say I have a good radio voice. And I think I could at least do it for fun. It would always be nice to, see the success that, say, at the time, the Yogscast were gaining in popularity and other such things. But certainly you never plan for that sort of thing. So I just started it. And then I'm like, I gotta do something different here. I don't care for building in Minecraft or making any sort of fantastical contraptions and things. And it was too early. Multiplayer in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 was too early for reliable multiplayer. There wasn't even a multiplayer menu. It was just insert an IP address. So I decided, there's this thing called the Farlands, a glitch that happens. Maybe we could try to walk to it. I didn't realize how far away it was. I didn't do my due diligence in researching how literally far away the Farlands were. About 12.5 million blocks from spawn. But I decided to try it anyway because nobody else was doing it. And exploring was a fun thing I enjoyed in Minecraft. And just the concept of the Farlands quote-unquote glitch was very interesting and attractive to me as someone who didn't know too much and still doesn't know too much about game development and programming and floating points and whatnot. So I decided to set off on episode 11. And then eventually I added in the charity, raised a lot of money for Child's Play charity. Last season we raised money for Direct Relief charity. Over $445,000 in total since we started. That was in June 2011 when we started doing the charity fundraiser. And now we're here. The last time we pressed F3, we were over 30% of the way to the Farlands. And we're continuing on. We're adapting slowly, but we're adapting to the changes in the internet media landscape. And finding new returning viewers. So welcome everybody. The main effect that we're seeing is this jitteriness, which is due to the float point positioning, which itself is a bug. I can't remember the name of the YouTuber, but they investigated the code of this Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. This isn't a current version of the game. This is a very old version, the last one to include the Farlands. But apparently, they tried to program the positioning from floating point to double precision, but they didn't do it right, so it defaulted back to floating point, which is why we get this terrain jitteriness. And also, it's most obvious, the block selection, this little 1 pixel border that you see on the block selection, is tied to the position of the player and not the world around us, so you can see what the offset is. And in a little bit, I don't know, 40, 50 episodes or something, I don't know what the estimate is at. Excuse me. I don't know what the estimate is at, but this will double as we pass the next rollover point of the floating point precision number, which is held in binary. It's a little bit hard to... I only recently discovered what it kind of sort of meant. It's the number, the coordinate in binary. When that number is too big, it needs to move the decimal place over to make room for another whole number. And then by reducing the amount of decimal points available, it becomes less precise. So when that happens, it might be even more unwatchable and possibly unplayable. So we might have to implement the fix in the game, which I can't even imagine what's involved in that. I'll definitely have to create and play on like a custom version of the game, probably without the Minecraft launcher, because that would try to update it or download the proper files. That would give me the terrain. I'd have no idea. That just gave me a panic attack and a half to even consider what would go into that. Maybe it's not that in-depth or difficult. Maybe it's just like installing a mod, but it's just a modded version of the vanilla file code. But who knows? But yeah, we're just traveling west. We're just traveling west. The world save is over 29 gigabytes at this point of just traveling in one direction in Minecraft. Not too much building, less for the F3 monuments. And yeah, I talk. I take questions. I try to give answers. I complain about YouTube. That's a pretty major theme. And that's what we've been up to the past 8.5 years. We've, of course, met a lot of cool people. Played a lot of cool games in that time. I've made this my job. I've moved twice, as pretty much far apart across the country as I possibly could. I've had pretty major life changes. But here we are. But here we are, and here you are, and I appreciate that you're following along. What else did I want to say? There's somebody who's very kindly in the comments of the video on YouTube, putting like a frequently asked questions about Far Lands or Bust and Kurt, and that's helpful. So I guess there's that there, or there's the FAQ on the farlandsorbust.com website, which honestly might answer less questions than the person who's putting comments in the YouTube video. But yeah, that's kind of how this series it goes. This series it goes. Indeed. Oh, all the Far Lands or Bust merchandise at tpublic.com. Link in the doobly-doo below. That's all on sale, pretty much for the first half of the month for the holiday season, if you're interested. just want to put that out there. Just want to say that for a minute. Bloop. Oh, there he is. Speaking of moving around and taking questions from viewers and stuff, is there still? Yeah, there is. This day, why does this day feel like it's been extra long? Like as I've been talking a lot. Weatherman asked a question for me to answer here. If you could live anywhere in the country for a year, cost not a factor, where would it be? In the world? Live anywhere for a year. I was honestly just thinking about this. Here in Seattle, it is cloudy, dark, short days, annoyingly damp and cold weather time of year, which is known as fall, winter, spring. And if I was a wealthier person, I do like Seattle, but I also like living in Phoenix. I would like, in the summers, live in Seattle. In the winters, live in Phoenix. Like, I feel like that would be a prime setup. A little bit wasteful, probably, but that would be a prime setup for me. I feel, just as far as like, you know, seeing the sun, being able to enjoy the outdoors. Careful of a. But if I could live anywhere in the country for a year, man, I don't know. I gotta be honest, not that much appeals to me. There's not much that, like, totally, like, this is a cool place to live. There's always positives and negatives to a place. But for a year without cost being a factor, well, without cost being a factor, then you want to make the most bang for your buck, so, like, Northern California. You know, somewhere where it's normally very expensive, but since cost isn't a factor, oh, that gray sheep just worried me. I thought it was some sort of spooky ghost. I don't know why. Those aren't in the game, but... Ooh. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye and got a good spookins. Alright, let's go to sleep. And continue in the morning. And a spooky sheep ghosts. How you doing, Wolfie? He's doing alright. I could still use a little bit more planks. Never pass up a good opportunity to pick up some planks. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, that was too many planks. I didn't pass it up. In the world? I mean, my immediate response would be like Iceland. Somewhere completely new and different, but also like seemingly interesting and new, but also easy to adapt. Like not somewhere where I don't completely know any language they speak or what the signs on the roads mean or anything like that. But then also Iceland is very, very up north and is probably even worse with the winters than, say, oh, I don't know, Seattle. So New Zealand? Is that the opposite of that? Could I say New Zealand? That would be different and interesting, right? Yeah, I've had these similar questions about like where you want to visit and stuff. I mean, despite all of my GeoGuessr knowledge, I can't quite say there's a specific place that calls to me. Especially if I have to dedicate living there for a year. And, I mean, that's not that long of a time, but it's still... That's a toughie. That's a toughie! But I hope that makes sense. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. Let's see here. Daniel asked, do you think there are any common misconceptions that the average viewer may have about the whole YouTube or Twitch streamer thing? I don't know who the average viewer is. They might, I mean, I think the main one, the unassociated viewer, might think that, like, they might have the example of the big Twitch streamers, stars, that they see on, like, mainstream media being referenced. So they might think that's how it is for everybody, both in viewership and in income, certainly in income. So I feel like that's probably a misconception. It's probably not something you want to think about, that the vast majority of even just narrowing it down to full-time streamers, YouTubers, whatever we want to be called, probably earn less per year than, say, if you have, a full-time job that you've been working for the same amount of time, 8 years or whatever, just because it's so unpredictable and it's contract work. I mean, we're essentially Uber drivers. We are creating all of the value for the companies we work for, but we are not employed by them, so we don't get any of the benefits or security of that. We're basically Uber drivers, but instead of driving you to the airport, we're giving you videos to watch. And so, yeah, that I think that's a good analogy. And I think there also might be a misconception about, like, oh, they know, because they know everybody else. They know all the other streamers, and they're all, if not friends, they all are in contact with each other. They have contacts at Twitch or at YouTube, and they're always talking to this, that, or the other. No, it's a very lonely job. It's you are alone in a room forever. It is there, despite making friends and people you meet and talk to, and even collaborations you do, unless you're exclusively like on a team or a multiplayer, that's your deal, is a multiplayer game with a specific team, you're not having any human interaction. And the human interaction between viewers, whether it be comments or chat or whatever, is it doesn't satisfy the social interaction needs of your standard human being. So it is and I imagine it's probably the same for the big streamers, the big YouTubers, other than the fact that maybe they have people working for them. They have people working for them, which defers some of their workload, which might allow for more personal time to make those connections. But I imagine it's pretty much the same. And that's something that I'm assuming a lot of people aren't prepared for or capable of keeping up. And me, myself, if you were around for the first dozen episodes or so, I told the story about how another reason other than like, oh, I really like watching Let's Plays, and I think I could do pretty good at this, and I have a pretty good voice. I'm very shy, very introverted, and while I didn't specifically start the YouTube channel to quote-unquote cure myself of that, I felt like it was a way to explore that and perhaps find a different way to connect, since the quote-unquote standard IRL means of making friends or talking to people are a little bit more difficult for me as someone in my kind of position. I guess I'm not able. Oh, this is a spawner. It's been a long time since we've seen a spawner, hasn't it? And we do have a little bit of the day left. I feel like I want to uncover this just for the giggles. It might take a while though. I need a lot of dirt. But yeah, let's mix things up a bit. Hey, Wolfie. I need you over here. Boop. Yeah, let's get a lot of dirt. Sorry for the sound that this is going to make. So yeah, while I definitely started making YouTube videos, not necessarily with the expectation, but with the goal of perhaps addressing my introversion and my kind of inability to traditionally make a lot of friends or connections, professional or otherwise. Definitely I wouldn't recommend that. Like, definitely that's not something that's like an instant fix. That, you know, that's I feel probably more addressed personally and psychologically. Although, I mean, obviously I have made, and I certainly know a lot more people and more diverse people now than I ever have, so there's a positive upside to it. But yeah, I think that might be some common misconceptions. I don't know, that's really tough. I'm a little bit too close. I feel I'm too close to the reality here to actually know what sort of misconceptions might exist. Boy, this one is... Is that it? Did I do it? I did it. And now to completely uncover the thing. Indeed. Alright, there's a Zomble. So I'm assuming it's a Zomble one. Alright, now where do we think the chests are? What we got? Oh, it's cursed! I have to leave everything. Oh, I really want this iron, but I have to leave this place. I must leave this place. It is no good. Oh, it's still cursed. I can't touch it. I can't touch anything. I can't live here. Got a golden record. Those are cursed. Closest I came to ever dying, and even to losing Wolfies when we found a golden record. So we must leave. We must forget that this existed. I'm so sorry that we even had to see that. Please, avert your eyes, children. Avert your eyes. Oh, what are the chances? I mean, I'm sure there's specifically somebody who knows exactly the chances, because that's in the game code as to how frequently those show up. But yeah, no, we don't mess with that juju. We don't want that on our conscience. Hey, Wolfie, no. These are dangerous times. I'm gonna feed you to get you up to health, just in case, because... Woo, spooky times. Spooky times indeed. Let's build the end of the episode hidey hole here, which I hope is very safe. Indeed. I need a new shovel, too. Really could have used that iron in that spawner, but too bad. Too bad it's bad. It's been spoilt. It's been well past its usability. Let's see here. I do have this sand, so let's just use that for a door. Place down our workbench. Build the things we need for the next episode, including this shovel. And a couple beds. And thank you, everybody, for watching, listening. There's also a podcast edition if these jitters I mentioned are a little bit too unbearable for you. Link in the description as well. And let's just build another boat. And yeah, this has been episode 761. I'm seeing also some estimates that it'll take another 1,000 episodes before we reach the Farlands. So, hunker down, buckle up, get comfy. We're going to be here a while. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. We don't know how this happened. Ugh.